Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Chris Berry. How are you today, Chris?
I'm great, Tracy.
Chris, I'm very excited about 2015 and in particular the trend and interest in batteries. And because we have you here, I'd like you just to give us a bit of an overview in this market sector.
Sure. Well, obviously, the interest in batteries, in particular lithium-ion batteries, has really been driven by Tesla over the last couple of years with their announcement last year at the Gigafactory and the demand that implies, not just for the batteries themselves, but for also the raw materials. And so it's really, for lack of a better phrase, ignited interest in the sector, not just for electric vehicles, but also for energy storage.
And of course, you're very bull on lithium and cobalt, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so between the two, I think you prefer cobalt, is that correct?
Well, I think in terms of a potential to derail some of this bullishness, cobalt is a real challenge right now. And when I say it's a challenge, procuring a reliable supply of cobalt is an issue. Yes, there's plenty of it out there, but nevertheless, it's really a geopolitical argument. I mean, most of the cobalt that is produced these days comes from the Congo or Russia, and it's refined in China. So, there's a geopolitical argument when you start talking about cobalt. So finding those deposits in, let's just say, safer geopolitical jurisdictions is a real key going forward.
So I noticed that you usually rank cobalt as your favorite for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then lithium, is that second or is that down the list?
I'd like to say, sort of like asking which of your kids you like more. I mean, I really like them both a lot. I would say cobalt would be first, lithium would be a very close second.
And of course, I know which cobalt companies you like. What I'd like to know is what lithium companies are your favorite or the ones you're watching this month?
Well, I'm watching several. Interestingly enough, Orocobre has just gone into production, so I'm interested to see how that ramp-up goes. They're down in South America. I've been paying very close attention to Lithium Americas. This is another Canadian junior. They have a deposit in Argentina, and they have a relationship with POSCO, which is one of the largest steel producers in the world. Okay, and so I'm interested to see how this relationship plays out. Also very interested in Western Lithium, which has a unique clay deposit in Nevada, not actually far from where the Gigafactory that Tesla's putting together is going to be built. So those are just a couple.
Of course, there's rumors everywhere and speculation on which lithium companies are currently talking to Tesla. What have you heard?
We've all heard the rumors, and everyone, talk is loose every now and then. My gut feel is that Tesla's probably talking to everybody across the entire value chain, whether or not it's the juniors or the near-term producers or obviously the companies that are in production right now. A company like Tesla or LG Chem, the battery manufacturers, are going to, in my opinion, diversify their supply sources. So they won't just pick one company, they'll probably get it from different companies from different parts of the world. So my senses are probably talking to a lot of them.
I'd like to confirm for the InvestorIntel audience out there that what he has just said is absolutely correct. Most of these companies talk to me. Most of them have confirmed to me that they are speaking and have spoken to someone at Tesla. So let's now jump to graphite. What are your thoughts, because you understand the battery market so much, what are your thoughts about the increasing need and demand for graphite?
Well, again, I like graphite a lot as well. I like it because the demand is somewhat insulated. You've got about 180 different products that require all different types of graphite. So obviously the battery business is really what's driving interest in graphite right now. I think one of the challenges that graphite faces relative to lithium or to cobalt is that for graphite there's a substitute, okay, and that's of course synthetic graphite. Now, that doesn't mean that flake graphite shouldn't be focused on or anything like that. It certainly should, but when you're weighing, I think, longer-term demand for flake graphite, you have to look at how it's going in the battery business, and you have to look at how synthetic graphite is used in the battery business as well.
Okay, do you have a pick or two you're watching in the graphite market?
Well, my favorites are the ones that I've always liked, to be honest with you. I've always focused on, Focus Graphite is one. They're doing something really interesting, sort of building an entire value chain. I think that's one of the keys to sustainability going forward. I've focused on Northern Graphite as well for a long time. I mean, it's very well run, it's in a great jurisdiction, and they've proven that they can produce what the battery market is going to need. And you know, I think maybe some of the earlier stage ones like Great Lakes Graphite, again, it's an early stage play, but it's one that I think, you know, requires a little bit more attention.
Okay, and rare earths.
Rare earths, again, I think it's been interesting to see how this whole sector has really evolved over the last couple of years. I'm still look very favorably upon Ucore, more than just about any of them out there.
Of course, you speak at conferences around the world. Can you give us a little bit of an understanding about what some of your themes are that you're going to be discussing here in the spring for 2015?
Sure. I think, you know, with respect to these companies that we're talking about, you have to find those companies that have some element of sustainability built in. That means more than just a strong balance sheet. Maybe it's a strategic relationship with a major producer or an end user. Maybe it's some sort of proprietary technology that the company has. But at the end of the day, the company in question has to be able to produce, whether or not it's a ton of lithium carbonate or graphite or what have you, they have to be able to produce at the lowest cost in the industry. And so that's the key right now.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.